I'm really bored. Today I would like to talk about modern Buddhist denominations. हम लोग स्कूल में हम लोग अपने स्कूलों में अक्सर पढ़ते हैं कि बुद्धिज़्म के दो प्राइमरी डिविजन्स हैं, महायान एंड हीनयान, और मोर प्रॉपरली थेरावाद, Mahāyāna, because Hīnyan is a derogatory term used by the adherents of Mahāyāna. What does Mahāyāna mean? The great vehicle. Hīnyan means a lesser vehicle. Theravāda is actually क्या बोलूँगा, अब लाइक ये स्थविरवाद से आता है, विच मीन्स द वे ऑफ द एल्डर्स. Now, Mahāyāna is also often self-referred to as bodhisattvayan, the vehicle of the bodhisattvas, whereas Theravāda is variously referred to as Shravakayan or the पच्चेक और द प्रत्येक बुद्धयान, प्रत्येक बुद्ध यान. श्रावक मतलब जो सुनने वाले हैं, द वे ऑफ द हियरर्स, एंड प्रत्येक बुद्धास आर बेसिकली लाइक क्या बोलूँगा, लाइक दोज हु कीप द रियलाइजेशन ऑफ द धम्मा टू देमसेल्व्स. सो व्हाट इज actually, there is actually another division. This is actually kind of a sub school and an independent school. This is called Vajrayāna. This actually Vajrayāna is primarily practiced in Tibet and Japan. In Tibet and in Japan. In Japan, it is known as Shingon Buddhism. Shingon, or also like Mikyo or Tantra. So now we have Mahāyāna, Hīnayāna and Vajrayāna. Mahāyāna is actually probably Mahāyāna came from the Mahasamghika school. Mahasamghika school, probably second century BC to 1st century AD. Mahāyāna, the formal development of the Mahāyāna doctrine was somewhere occurred between 1st to 2nd century CE. Major proponents of the Mahāyāna, as you were the philosophers Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, Dignag, Vasubandhu. Hīnayāna has actually probably has a long history of codification. Hīnayāna can be traced to anywhere between the mid 3rd century BCE to 1st century BCE, although the earliest surviving commentaries on the texts of the Hīnayāna tradition or Theravāda tradition come from the 5th to 6th century CE. Theravāda probably preserves the earliest texts of Buddhism, which may reflect the earliest and the more authentic teachings of the Buddha. Now, Mahāyāna itself is Mahāyāna. Now that I've talked about the main divisions of present-day Buddhism, what are the differences in these two schools? There are a lot of differences, but I would actually like to talk about the similarities today. Mahāyāna accepts the premises of Theravāda. Mahāyāna believes in the Four Noble Truths. Mahāyāna accepts the legitimacy of the end goal of what it considers to be the end goal of Theravāda, that is attainment of arhatship. However, what Mahayana in fact, it also accepts the Pali Canon, although it refers to the Pali Canon as primitive teachings, as meant for people of different dispositions. This is like in the Lotus Sutra, and it is actually a foundational doctrine of Mahayana, is called Upaya. Upaya is variously translated as skillful or expedient means. Here, the doctrine states that the Buddha and the various bodhisattvas teach the law, that is the Dhamma, to people of various dispositions using numerous explanations and illustrations. That is, the Dhamma is kind of like Dhamma is like shifted, changed, repurposed, re-evaluated for the sake of the betterment of the person who is listening to it. मतलब उनके mental faculties के अनुसार via various illustrations and explanations, bodhisattvas and buddhas try to explain the Dhamma. This is actually kind of ये mainly Mahayana का एक doctrine है, which actually enabled Mahayana to proliferate outside India, because they could use the doctrine of Upaya to suggest that other existing faith traditions and philosophies were actually just a variant, just a skillful means employed by Buddhas to drive people towards the Dhamma. So I hope now you have a very faint idea of the various modern day denominations of Buddhism. Thank you for listening.